Hi, kinky people. It's Mistress Vega.
Lady Katie.
And welcome to the Bonding Experience. Ooh. And today we have a part 3
of TPE.
We hope you like what we came up with for this topic. It is the difference between
a submissive and a slave.
But I'm a baby girl.
You're a submissive.
But I'm a brat.
Submissive.
But I'm a pet.
Submissive.
But I'm a masochist.
You're a bottom.
Yeah.
There is a difference between bottoms, submissives, and slaves.
But we're just going to be talking about the two and breaking them down, because I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people in this day and age, they are more into the niche subcategories of being subs. Mm-hmm. They're not slaves. Slaves are very different. To talk about these things, we're going to elaborate more in a traditional BDSM sense. So please don't bite our faces off. We like them where they're at.
And again, it's called an opinion.
Yeah.
It's like an asshole. Everybody has one. You either like ours or you don't.
You can.
So a submissive, to start off with, renews their choice to submit every time they're asked to do something.
At every request.
Yes.
And a slave chooses to submit once they start their relationship with their master or mistress at their contract signing.
They do one big submit, not a bunch of little submits.
So it's kind of like how you were talking about with the dishes. A sub says, well, I don't want to. And a slave just says, yes, ma'am. Yes. So that's the difference.
Really, you don't even have to ask a slave.
Number 2.
A sub can change limits at will, adding hard and soft limits and different things like that.
And a slave negotiates the limits at the start of that contract that we just talked about. It's everything else is at the discretion of their master or mistress at that point. Their likes, things like that.
I think back in the day, like, you didn't even have your limits. You didn't have limits if you were a slave. In a
non-consensual, in a very bad slavery.
Yes.
We'll say that.
Now, in consensual slavery, at the beginning, you can be like, look, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And if you have a good master or mistress,
you're going to respect what you originally negotiate.
Upon. Yeah. They may push your boundary a little bit.
But those are normally soft. Hards are always hard for us.
Yeah, like.
That's another thing. A lot of the time, a big differentiating factor is that a slave will always have a master or mistress, whereas a sub will normally have a dom. So it'll be a sir, ma'am, madam, in a little less informal titles, because we actually earn our master and mistress titles most of the time, just like a slave earns their title as slave.
3. Oh, this is a big one. A sub has a safe word.
And a slave typically does not. And the reason why we say this is it's more symbolic for them to give it up. Now, in this day and age, we still respect it. They still technically have one, especially in public places. But for a more authentic feeling, it's almost like it's stripped away, taken away, so that they can feel more slave-like.
Because this is consensual slavery.
Yeah. Number 4.
Sub retains their will within the DS relationship.
DS meaning?
Dominant and the submissive.
So it is an authoritative relationship, but it's not quite as authoritative as an MS. And a slave's will is determined by their master or mistress. Number 5.
A sub may still voice their opinions and concerns and questions and negotiate throughout here and there.
And a slave obeys at all times, regardless of their likes or dislikes. Yet again. Number 6.
A submissive should never be forced.
Whereas a slave may be forced into what is considered a consensual non-consent. They like that. delicious to them.
It's tantalizing. When you lease a car, like a submissive, you're leasing a person. It's still technically owned by the dealership. They're still technically their own person.
Yeah. They still have free will.
Yeah. They can go and come. If they need to take the car, they can. If you own the car,
That's yours.
it's yours. Take it mudding. Take it to the demolition derby. Go have it detailed 3 times a week.
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want with it.
And that's another thing, speaking of that particular part, is that subs still retain their free will, right? We have this established. But a slave technically is micromanaged. You tell them what to eat, what to wear, what to drink, how much to drink, everything. Submissive decides how much authority will be given, and they can choose when to say no, which kind of goes hand in hand with the other one. But a slave consensually gives all. So
submissives can say no, slaves cannot.
yeah, and a slave doesn't have to be, a slave is 24/7, whereas a sub isn't 24/7.
They go to work and have their own mindset and their own.
If a slave goes to work,
things.
they're going to work to pay your bills.
Yeah.
She was talking earlier that sub can have slave tendencies and a slave can have some subby tendencies, but you know, it's really all on how you make it. So
take it seriously, guys.
Yeah. And
if you want to keep it in the bedroom, have bedroom kink, that's fine.
Yeah, and stop yelling at me on Facebook. I got yelled at by a girl on Facebook.
You know what, girl? Blur. Oh, can we do that on there?
Yeah, I don't know. I just did it.
Quit being keyboard warriors.
She's a keyboard kinkster. She's cool. She knows what she's talking about.
She knows her daddy bought her collar at Hot Topic for her.
God, if that happened to you, please don't get mad at us. Just know that we've been
know
harassed
that
by
you're
so
not
many
really
people.
collared. Sorry. Truth hurts.
Well.
You can ask her. I'm very blatantly honest.
Yeah.
I care about our viewers. We're here to teach you.
Yeah, please stop making yourself look like a fucking jerk off. So, thanks for viewing our video. Come back for another one next week.